While Disney and Pixar animation is bombing at the box office, all is not lost, for a new animated film on Netflix has taken the hearts of many people on the internet. That's right, everyone. Today I'm going to be discussing Nimona, released on Netflix. Now, this movie came on my radar not too long ago, and I'm so happy it did. With its complex, likable characters, relatable and heavy undertones, all wrapped up in a beautiful hour-and-a-half animated film, it's easy to see why Nimona has such positive engagement and an already dedicated fan base, myself included. Hello to all of you joining me today. If you don't know me, my name is Ad Caffeine, and as of now, I review movies and discuss topics in the animation genre. Now, as of recording this, I have watched Nimona 3 times already, so with no further ado, smash that subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Now, before I can discuss the film, I want to delve a bit into the backstory because, oh boy, this one's quite interesting. Now, if you didn't already know, the film Nimona is an adaptation from a graphic novel, also named Nimona. The cartoonist N.D. Stevenson created this novel when he was enrolled in Maryland College of Art. What started as a character in high school and moved to webcomics on Tumblr, Nimona later evolved into his senior project. Now, this work was a huge success, and due to that, it was printed and distributed to wider audiences. Nimona collected many awards, including the Eisner Award, Sibelius Award, and a Cartoonist Studio Prize. This success led to an announcement of an animated film adaptation by 20th Century Fox in 2015. Anyways, years pass, and the film is being developed by Blue Sky Studios. You know, the one responsible for Ice Age and the masterpiece that is robots. However, as time progressed, Disney bought out Blue Sky Studios, and after lack of success, shut down the studio, and with that, the film was scrapped. It wasn't until recently when Annapurna Pictures picked up the unfinished project and vowed to bring it to fruition. And that's exactly what they did. After its premiere in film festivals, Nimona made its public debut on Netflix June 30th, 2023. And that leads us to where we are now. Now, there's a lot more backstory in the development of the film and the origin of Nimona, but that's the basic rundown. However, it's incredible to look at the roots of the story and how these heartwarming characters made it to the screen. I, like many artists, are inspired by Nimona, just through its journey. It is a testament to show that a well-thought and original idea can make it anywhere, and we are quite literally only limited to our imagination. Seriously, I always think about writing a comic or making a short film, and Nimona is personally super inspiring to me because it shows that it's not impossible. So now that you know how this amazing story came to be, I'll give you a brief description of the theatrical plot of Nimona. We start the film with a scroll, detailing the story of a woman named Glorith that fought the great monster and built a huge wall to keep the residents of the kingdom safe. The film cuts to the same kingdom 1,000 years in the future, with lots of innovative technology. We then begin to follow our protagonist Ballister, who is on his way to be knighted by the queen, which is a controversial topic because he is the first commoner to be knighted. From this point, only people of royal blood have had a chance to be knights, so his ceremony would be a cultural shift for the kingdom. This movie doesn't waste any time as we get right into the ceremony and Ballister is knighted by the queen and received by rapturous applause in the audience. However, to Ballister and everyone's shock, the hilt of his sword retracts, revealing a laser weapon that shoots and kills the queen. Like I said, this movie wastes no time getting right into the thick of it. In the heat of the moment, Ambrosius, a fellow knight, cuts off Ballister's arm, which in turn makes the laser hit a floating screen which falls directly onto them. This destruction creates a hole in the ground, aiding Ballister's escape from the ceremony. Afterwards, we immediately cut to a figure spray painting over posters of the Institute. This is revealed to be Nimona, and her attention is captured by multiple news broadcasts claiming Ballister is an outcast and a monster. And with that, she has her next target, and we roll into the title card. Sorry, James, I just had to. In the next scene, Ballister is shown in a desolate hideout, replacing his dismembered arm with a robotic counterpart. He investigates the noise outside and turns around to be introduced to the one and only Nimona, who is under the impression that he really did kill the queen, and immediately offers to be his sidekick as they wreak havoc on the prejudiced world around them. Ballister claims he's innocent and he just wants to find the perpetrator and clear his name. Nimona offers to help him, but he is uninterested and refuses. Thinking he can do this on his own, he goes out, only to immediately be thrown into jail. The director, who is head of the institute, meets with Ballister and he pleads his innocence. But she argues that a commoner should not have been brought into the knighthood, and the queen was foolish to have trusted him. Anyways, Ballister sulks, and Nimona appears out of the blue to break him out of his cell. They begin to escape when they are pinned down in a closet with no way out. Nimona tells Ballister that she can get them out of there, but it was going to get weird and he would have to trust her. Confused, he agrees and is left in awe as it is revealed that Nimona is a shapeshifter, as she takes the form of a rhinoceros. A chase ensues, and the two escape as Nimona takes the forms of different creatures, such as an armadillo, an ostrich, a gorilla, and as extreme as a whale. The pair manage to escape, and as a result of their destruction, Balster is knocked out and wakes up to Nimona in his hideout, but with no memory of the event. He starts to put the pieces together and figures out that she is a shapeshifter. There's a tense moment, and he doesn't know if he can trust her, but they agree to find the Queen Killer, and they start by tracking down the Squire, who handed him the deadly sword before the ceremony. They go through the subway, but are intercepted by Ambrosius and his men, who are following them via security footage. They escape the close encounter and find the Squire in a busy marketplace. After a chaotic action sequence, they get the Squire unconscious, steal a new car, and escape the Knights. They park under an overpass to question the Squire. Nimona is seen to be injured, and they have a heart-to-heart as Balster helps remove the arrow that got lodged in her leg. But they are quickly interrupted by the Squire, and get right to interrogating him about the rigged sword. The Squire claims he's innocent, and shows Balster a video he tried to bring up before the ceremony. It depicts the director switching out Balster's sword with the look-alike that was used to kill the Queen. Shocked by this revelation, Nimona and Balster disagree on what to do with this information. She wants to post it everywhere for the kingdom to see, while Balster is worried about the integrity of the Institute, and wants to take it to Ambrosius, as he has faith he will understand. They immediately confront Ambrosius and the director, and in an attempt to show him the evidence, it is destroyed and they are surrounded. With no one to trust, Balster and Nimona fight the Institute, and both nearly get captured. Towards the end of the fight, Nimona rescues a little girl from a flying car, and shifts into a little girl herself in an attempt to comfort her, which is met by the girl picking up a sword and calling her a monster. Distraught, Nimona and Balster return to the hideout, and Nimona is upset because no matter what she does, people will always see her as a monster. Balster and her have another bonding moment as he reassures her that she is unique. Spirits lifted, they devise a plan to get a confession out of the director. The scene ends and we cut to Ambrosius, as he goes to the director seeking answers about Balster's claim incriminating her. The director confesses to Ambrosius that she worries of them losing sight of the will of Glorith, their founder, who did all this to keep the monsters out. She says Balster was never meant to be a knight, and she framed him so no commoner could ever be a knight. After her confession, she stabs Ambrosius, seemingly killing him, but it is later revealed that the whole conversation was a setup, and Nimona was actually posing as Ambrosius, and they now had video proof she was guilty. With their evidence collected, Nimona and Balster return home to celebrate a job well done. They play board games as the video is uploaded and received by the entire kingdom. And later that night, Nimona falls asleep, and Balster gets a message to meet up with Ambrosius. The two men meet at a diner, and they both agree that Balster is innocent. However, a broadcast of the director interrupts them, as she claims the recording was fabricated by Nimona, and she was the true monster. Balster begs Ambrosius to help him take down the director, but Ambrosius claims that Nimona is manipulating him. He reveals a scroll the director gave to him that depicts Nimona as Glorith's original monster, and the reason she built the wall over the kingdom in the first place. Balster, confused with emotion, flees the diner, and returns to the hideout to confront Nimona on this shocking discovery. Balster and Nimona get into a fight as they both lose trust in each other. To make matters worse, the Institute tracked Balster to his hideout, so he is captured and Nimona flees the scene. As she runs away, we enter a flashback when Nimona was younger. She tried to fit in with wildlife everywhere, and after much trial and error, eventually befriended a blonde girl, and she accepted Nimona for who she really was. Sadly, her secret was revealed to the townsfolk, and they attacked Nimona. And in desperation, Nimona reaches to her friend for help, who in turn picks up a sword and calls her a monster. And with a transition and a name drop, it is revealed the girl that Nimona befriended was actually Glorith, which confirms that Nimona really was the original monster. Back in the present, Nimona is overwhelmed with rage and grief. She dramatically morphs into a large shadowy figure, and makes her way towards the city to exact her revenge. In a mass panic, the kingdom is locked down, and all the knights form up against the monster, leaving Balster alone. Nimona makes her way to the heart of the kingdom, all while being attacked and injured by the Institute's firepower. And in a heart-wrenching scene, she makes a movement towards the statue of Glorith, and contemplates taking her own life. However, during this climax, Balster embraces Nimona and validates her, ending the rampage and returning her to normal. The director, however, did not agree with this happy ending, so she arms a cannon aimed towards the city to kill Nimona. Quickly, Nimona shifts into what I describe as a spectral phoenix, and collides with a cannon, presumably killing her and the director. Time skips a few months, and the kingdom is currently healing from the past. Nimona and Balster are finally regarded as the heroes that they are, but sadly Nimona isn't here to enjoy their victory. We end the film, with Balster cleaning his old hideout when he opens the door to seemingly no one, only to be greeted by the disembodied voice of Nimona calling out to him. And the film abruptly cuts to the credits. So now that we know the plot of Nimona and the history of the story, I want to discuss how this movie worked so well, because yes, there is a reason people love this thing so much. Just about anyone can take a classic hero's journey formula and fill an hour and a half with a dull narrative. So why does it feel different this time? Relatability. The first and best way to connect with your audience is to make them feel like they resonate with the characters on screen. The viewer needs a reason to keep watching, and making them feel like they can take the place of the protagonist is the driving factor to a positive experience. Nimona and Ballister are genuine characters with real depth and personality. Nimona has real struggles with her identity, and a lot of viewers can resonate with that, while Ballister is an accepting guardian figure that viewers can look up to. The way these two interact is so fluid and lifelike, as they are very expressive. Dare I say, animated. I'm sorry, that was really bad. That was not the will of Glorith. To summarize, Ballister and Nimona are well thought out protagonists that have real emotions and struggles the viewer can relate to and see themselves in. Anyways, another driving factor to the success of Nimona are the themes and undertones. And trust me, this movie is filled to the brim with symbolism. Whether it is intended by the writer or a self-insert, themes are what make a simple story greater in meaning. A theme can be the main plot of a story, or a more subtle way to discuss topics that go beyond just the simple plot. The biggest theme presented in Nimona is identity and acceptance, told poetically as she is a shapeshifter, and not limited to just one form. She struggles with being accepted as who she is, because people respond to her power with fear and resentment. And this can relate with a lot of people who feel like they don't meet societal standards. In the story, Ballister is at first fearful because he doesn't understand her, but as they work together, he changes the way he sees her. It addresses the topic that people are often afraid of what they don't understand, but sometimes we just need to give something different a chance. This leads me to the next theme, which is conformity. The kingdom is run by a society of knights that follow the doctrine of Glorith, who we learn created the Institute to stop the monsters because of the fear she had. This also led to the construction of the wall to keep bad things out, which in turn really just kept everyone in and blind to the truth. Ballister initially believes in the Institute's morals and doesn't ask questions about the wall or when Ambrosius cuts off his arm. You know, casual knight behavior. This theme is displayed with Ballister's character arc, when he started to see past what he was being told to believe. Beyond Ballister, the other side of this is shown in the director, the film's antagonist. She frames Ballister and kills the queen, all in the name of Glorith. She sees the world how it was 1,000 years prior, and is fearful of what change may bring to the kingdom. She uses conformity to keep herself in power, and to reinforce the ideals of a woman that was misdirected in her ideology in the first place. Now there are a lot more themes and symbolism in the film, but I will leave you with these big ones that I found. Apart from the movie itself, I want to use this time also to discuss the shift currently happening in the animation genre of film and media. Like I mentioned in the intro, large studios are failing to attract an audience with big budget animated features. Pixar's Elemental has the second lowest box office weekend in their entire company's history. And in all honesty, the movie itself wasn't even half bad. The marketing for the film just wasn't persuading. So to put it frankly, things for Pixar are not looking great. It comes to show that people have a higher standard for animation now. We've all seen the same stories play out, and the world is in need of something different. With the current debate of stylized versus realistic animation going around, Nimona joins the stylized side of things. More studios are opting to embrace and push the boundaries of what an animated feature film can be. Great examples of this are both Spider-Verse movies from Sony Animations, Puss in Boots from DreamWorks, and Netflix's very own The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I personally am a huge fan of this stylized look, and I think it opens up so many more opportunities for artists to have creative liberty with big budget productions. I mean, just look at how show-stopping Across the Spider-Verse is. Another issue is the debate where animated films are argued between just mindless cartoons for kids and genuine compelling storytelling. Luckily, animation is breaking through the stereotypes, and the industry is going to change. Movies that are made simply to fill time don't work anymore, and films like Nimona prove that this style of storytelling can handle deep topics, and in a manner that cannot be replicated by filmed media. Nimona joins a new age of animation, and studios like Pixar need to take notes, because times are changing, and I would argue for the better. Also, I have to mention that things have been pretty dry recently with animation, so Nimona was a nice breath of fresh air for everyone. And the release date could not have come at a more perfect time. Nimona works so well because we relate to these characters, we fall in love with them and their story, and we feel the same pain they do. I don't cry a lot watching movies, but my eyes did get watery watching the final act. That all being said, Nimona is a testament to the fact that the plot doesn't have to be convoluted, the runtime doesn't have to be extensive, a timeless story can be told with deep relatable characters that we see ourselves in and feel for. Nimona represents a new era of animation and storytelling, and has placed itself as a truly memorable masterpiece. I would do anything to watch this again for the first time, because that was an experience I don't think could ever be replicated. That about wraps up this video for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me on this lovely day. If you guys enjoyed this, please let me know. comment, like, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. And with that, you guys take care and have a good day. Stay caffeinated. Bye-bye.